So putting everything together, right? Okay, so London session, I'll quickly explain it. So let's start with the London session now. So the last time the London session opens right over here, you mark it, right? As I told you before, 15 minutes before the London open. So that should be, okay, 15 minutes before the London open. And now you have to mark out what you have to do the next step after marking the like 15 minutes before London open. So this one would be London open. Okay, and then we have to mark the intraday high. Okay, then the overnight high. The overnight high would be when the New York session closes, which is 12 my time and around 3 p.m. your time. So the highest one would be this one. Okay. So we call this what? Overnight high. And how about overnight low? Overnight low should be before the London open. So sorry, this one is not London open. This is 15 minutes before London open. Okay. And vertical line here, 15 minutes before London open. And this one, 2 lines, right? This is London open. So we have to mark the overnight low. Overnight low would be, okay, this is the point 15 minutes before. So I think the lowest point here before London open was this one, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, you just mark it. So you have a range here between overnight high and overnight low. Overnight low, bottom. Okay. So between overnight high and low, between overnight high and low, what is the bias here? If you can you tell me the bias? The price here, you can see, if you check on the background here, you will see a very high volume here. Okay, the price is distributing and then the price is coming down between overnight high and low. Am I right? So we write down the first step. Okay, bias between overnight high and low is bearish. Okay, all right. And now before we can also draw a channel here. If we this is first high. Okay, this is high. This is another high. The first high was from here. Am I right? The first lower high was from here, this point, right?
Yeah, correct.
So this is the first lower high, as I told you before. We mark it here. The first lower high. This is high, this is high. They are exactly same height, same. I mean, they are in the same position. And this is the first lower high. And we can draw the channel here, connecting this point. And I think these 2 points can be connected. This one here and this one here, right over here. And we can draw the channel. Right? Okay. Now we go to the 5-minute time frame. Okay. Now the price here is overbought, right? Oversold. You can see the volume. You can see the price is just like a very small range. And then the price had made a sudden acceleration to the downside. Am I right? Yep. So this area is actually oversold. OS plus selling climax. This oversold was completed when? It was completed when it closed inside the trading range. We extend it. Okay. So it closed inside trading range. So this is AR. Okay. And now we have secondary test. Secondary test has a characteristic of what? Can you tell me?
Higher low.
Higher low, right? Okay. So we have a higher low over here, and we can draw an additional line, a small line, just to, okay, this dotted line. As I told you, whenever we see a higher low, we draw a dotted line from here. All right. And this one, now we have, what do we notice here? The price came back, okay, jump across the creek, and then the jump across the creek actually failed. You see, there was a jump across the creek, JAC, jump across the creek, and this jump across the creek actually failed when the price closed below the trading range, right? Now we go to the 3-minute time frame where we will take our entries. Okay. Now here we notice one more thing in a 5-minute time frame, if we can notice here. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, here. Now this is the first higher low, right? After this one is the first higher low. So we can draw the channel like this, right? And from here to here, between it. All right. What do we notice here? Now you combine the strength here, you see what kind of volume are we noticing? A very high volume. And here we also notice a high volume, right? This is overbought of this channel, right? So that is buying climax plus overbought. Now, can you tell me which volume is higher? This one or this one?
Buying climax.
The volume of the buying climax is much more higher than this one. Am I right? So in this case, this will fail, as I told you. And the price is overbought and the price is returning back. And as I told you, the between overnight high and low, the session is okay. What to say? The bias is bearish, right? Because it was downtrend, as I told you before. All right, and now we go to the 3-minute time frame and see for our entries. Okay, now this one, can you say that this is jump across the creek right over here during this session, or jump across the creek during London Open if we extend this line, right? Not jump across the creek. This whole move is falling through ice, this one. If we highlight this one, FTI, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, this is FTI. So you mark it as FTI, falling through ice. Remember that we are still between what? Overnight high and low. So we are still in the bearish bias. And now, okay, the price breaks through it, this whole move, and the London was finally open right over here. Okay, so this whole move here is actually a part of a jump across the creek here. Oh, sorry, falling through ice. Okay. So if this is all falling through ice, right? Now you see the reaction here. What happens to here? This one is the first one, what to say? The first falling through ice, right? Now, if we extend this one as well, this channel, extend it. This one is another falling through ice. Am I right? FTI. Why this is falling through ice? This one, this channel, this should not be falling through ice, right? Because this channel is, this line is coming from here. But the fact is that this oversold was failed and the buying climax was much larger than the selling climax, right? So this is a second FTI right over here. This one, right? Now, this is what? This move here. Can you tell me? LPSY. Last point of supply, right? And you see the volume here. What happened to the volume during the last point of supply? The volume diminishes and we see a no demand. So all makes sense, right? We have a bearish bias. Here again, we broke the last low. We are still in the falling through ice age, okay? Stage, and then during during this testing here, we test this region. Can you see this region here? What happens to the volume? No demand. Can you see the no demand?
Yeah.
Okay. This one here, no demand. Of this candle, of this bar here, no demand, right? This is exactly, again, LPSY, last point of supply, and it is formed on what? No demand. Okay. So this is what? Now we have a, now can you tell me the major sign of weakness here? MSOS. MSOS can be, because this was failed. Okay, this was failed. So this will be our major sign of weakness. So we have first major sign of weakness, as I told you in the last session. Okay, this buying climax. Hold on. MSOW. Right? And how about this one here? LFTI is also a major sign of weakness. Okay. A second one. This one here as well. Third major sign of weakness. These are the major sign of weakness. As I told you in the last video, that falling through ice and buying climax means like, or like overbought buying climax are actually the major sign of weakness. Okay. This LPSY is what? After London Open. We only take the entry after London Open, the test here. This is our entry here. Okay. So this no demand, can we call it as minor sign of weakness? So remember that the major sign of weakness will be represented with M capital. Okay. And minor sign of weakness is the confirming signal. So this minor sign of weakness confirms this one. Like the weakness in the background here, it also confirms this one. And it also confirms this one, right? So this all is a perfect trade, and you're gonna go for the short setup. Okay, you place the stop loss right over here, because now if we are taking this entry as a no demand, because it comes on the reference line. Now, how do I know which is the reference line? The reference line is this line, this whole trend line coming here, reference line. So we have this reference line, we have this reference line, we have this reference line, we have this reference line. Got it? We have 4 reference line. Okay. And the 5th reference line is overbought here. This one. Okay, here. This one is the 5th reference line, because this one would be, what to say? If this is overbought, this is AR, right? This one is AR. This is falling through ice. This is secondary test. Lower, low, and this secondary test forms lower high. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. And this one here is actually AR. This line is AR, right? So we have how many lines of reference? We have this line of reference, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one is 6. 6th line of reference. Got it? Here, we did not get any test here, immediate test or spring here. So this will be removed. Understand?
Okay.
Okay. Now we enter over here, and this comes right on the reference line, right over here. Okay. And we're going to take the entry. Our stop loss would be where? Last high. Where is the last high? This is the last high. Right? This one here is the last high. Do you agree? This one here. Right? So you place your stop loss right over here. This is your stop loss level, this one. So your entry would be this point here. This is long, short entry. Stop loss, last high right over here, over this point, just slightly above it. And our take profit would be just like this level. Of course, you can drag it longer because the bias is bearish. Okay. So you can drag it longer, but again, I suggest just enter, exit right over here. Okay. And now what happens here? Now we have another, now we breaks right through this channel. Okay, we are just coming out of this range. Okay. And what happens here? The first lower high was observed from this point, right? If we draw another channel, okay. Yeah, this seems like what? Oversold, right? So oversold plus selling climax, right? Now this oversold plus selling climax is all right, and we also have a higher low, right? So we can just draw a line and see the testing region. And here, once the price comes back here, we can go long, right? Test this region, we can go long. But
Yeah.
remember one thing, we have two biases here. The long-term bias is what? You can see the background is bearish. Now you compare this one here, see the volume, okay? And this is falling through ice. Can you see the volume of falling through ice? This one, this candle, FTI.
Yeah.
And you see the volume of this oversold. Which one is more higher?
FTI.
Hmm?
FTI.
Yeah. So the volume of FTI falling through ice is much more higher than this one. So it means that the price in the long term will go in the downward direction. And you can see that the price did go in the downward direction. Okay. And in a very short term direction, the price, like the same case over here, as I told you over here, the price did go up, but eventually the price, because the buying climax was much higher than the selling climax, that's why the price came. Okay, the price move to the down direction was much more higher than this one. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And once the price just comes back here and retests this region, okay. Now here we have nothing. Do we have efforts, no result here? No. No demand? No, we don't have no demand here, nothing. We came back, retested again. Any effort versus no result? No. No demand? No. We came back, tested again, but now we have a situation where we have a hidden spring. Am I right? And now we can go, because our direction, our major direction is downward. We can go go for the short trade here, this one, and just exit right over here. Okay. Make sense? And now after this, once the price reaches this, what do we observe here? No demand. Am I right? And we have what? This is minor sign of weakness, and this is, sorry, this is minor sign of strength. This is major sign of weakness or strength. So minor sign of strength confirms, this confirms the major sign of weakness or strength. Make sense? So eventually the price will go up again. Okay. And now we can go for another long trade, entering below here. Okay. Stop loss would be just like below here. Take profit just at this point, at this level. Okay. Now, as we are going up, what do we see here? It's very hard to draw a channel here, right? We cannot draw a channel at this point because we cannot see any lows here. Just a straight away bullish. But on the upside here, what do we notice? Shortening of the thrust, right? And we have this one here coming from here. This one is, if this is up thrust, then this should be what? UT80. Correct? If this is UT, then this should be UT80, right? And on this point, what you're going to do? And you see that UT80 comes at what? We have what? Here, the major sign of weakness is what? You can see here. Falling through ice. This falling through ice is coming in this area. Up thrust confirms. Up thrust confirms, right? So at the top of this range, we have sign of weakness, the major sign of weakness confirmed by minor sign of weakness in terms of upthrust, confirmed by UTAD, which is a minor sign of weakness, and this also confirms this one, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And of course, if you go for this from, if this is falling through ice, then this is what? This whole move, this from here to here, we can call it as LPSY. Right or wrong? This is also LPSY, second LPSY. Because LPSY is a is an upward move after falling through ice. If this is falling through ice, this is also falling through ice as a whole, then this should be LPSY, right? Do you
Yeah.
understand, right? Okay. Now we have an UTAD, which is also an LPSY move, right? This whole line is LPSY. Now, if I go to the 5-minute time frame, you can easily detect LPSY. See here. Can we say this is LPSY? If this is falling through ice from here, whole falling through ice, and we are also breaking this level low. So this is actually falling through ice, right? A minor oversold as well, but the minor oversold will not produce much higher result because the bias is still bearish, right? If this is FTI, this whole move here from here to here, sorry, then this should be what? LPSY. This is again another one. This is again LPSY, right? Make sense?
Yep. Makes sense.
Okay. Now on a 3-minute time frame, where we are looking for the entries, we have noticed one more thing about the entry here. What happens at the UTAD? This upsurge after distribution. This comes. See the volume. No demand. No demand, right? This no demand confirms this is a minor sign of weakness. Okay, this confirms this falling through ice, which is a major sign of weakness, right? So the price would go in a downward direction again. You see how we need to see the confirmation. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a whole move here. You can just draw it back here, the whole move. Okay. So you can also go for like short-term 2-hour trade, or you can go all the way down. Okay. But sometimes what happens when the price comes right over here, the people will get confused. Oh, the price is coming back here. And you know, like the people will be, and here the price comes back and retest here again. If you miss this entry, what do we have here? After UT, test of upthrust, am I right? And you see the volume of test of upthrust. This is the second entry. Okay. Second entry. How about a third entry? And you can see we did reach our target. Okay. And even if you miss this entry, there's another third one entry right over here. The price goes up and then the price close below. This is what I gave a name of this entry yesterday. What did I call it? 2-bar top reversal.
Yeah.
Okay, 2-bar top reversal. Both of the bars will have higher volume. Okay. Okay. And even if you are unable to trade this trade here, there's another one, which is this one here. Very small range bar, but volume is very huge. Very huge. Effort versus no result. So we have multiple entries. Can you see multiple entries over here? This one here as well. Multiple entries. Okay.
Okay.
This was set up here. Now we come back to the, let's suppose, a New York session. Now let's go to a 15-minute time frame. The New York was open at what time? 5 o'clock my time, should be 8 o'clock your time, right over here. So the first New York opening, which is a pre-session opening, let me draw a vertical line. 15 minutes, this one. This is the second major opening and the first is 5, this one. Got it? This is a pre-market session. This is a post-market session of the New York. Okay. And now what do we see here? Okay, this whole is complete here. And we have to mark the intraday, London high and London low. Can you tell me the London high? Where is the London high? This is London high after this one, right? The London high must be, the London low is not yet decided. Okay, we are going down. Okay, the London low is not yet decided. But how about London high? This was the London open. The high should be here. Okay. London high. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we can, okay. All right. So we have a London high and London low, right? So what happens during the London session, the price is going to the downward direction. So London was open right over at here, at this point. Okay. So you start drawing the channel here. If I draw this part and this part here. Okay, the London was open right over here, this candle, right? So the first high is this one, right? This major high. So if we combine this from this high and we adjust it from here to here and drag it, because we have to find the highs and lows, the first higher low after London open. Sorry, the first lower high after London open. So London open was right over here. Okay, the first lower high was this one. Am I right?
Yeah.
So we connect this point, we draw the channel. Okay, and now we just drag it. Okay, now we have a clear figure. Okay, so during the pre-market session, we are still between high and low. Am I right? We are still between the London, we are still between the trading range, this downtrend channel right over here. This is the first London open. So we go to the 5-minute time frame and see what do we notice. Okay, this is the first London open here. And what is our, are we at the overbought or are we at the oversold? No, at this London open. Right or wrong? Are we or not?
Yeah. Correct.
No, right? Yeah. Sorry?
No. No.
No, right. Okay.
Not
So
yet.
we can draw, if we draw this channel here, small channel, because we have this swing low, and we extend it here, a very small one, and we even go to the 3-minute time frame to adjust it. Okay. What do you see? A very small channel here. So this process, what? If we are between the trend channel, the downward channel, this process, this trading range is what? Redistribution. Right?
Yeah.
This is redistribution. I told you the redistribution is of two types, right? Either the redistribution will occur between the downtrend channel. If it's oversold, then it's no longer redistribution. But if it's not oversold yet, then still it is still a redistribution process. And what happens after the London open was, sorry, New York open was here, and exactly at this point, what do we see? At this reference level, what do we see?
Effort versus no result.
Effort versus no result. So here we have a effort versus no result, EVNR, which is a minor sign of weakness, right? But how about the major sign of weakness? What is major sign of weakness? Can you tell me?
Buying climax.
Sorry,
Buying climax.
where is buying climax? Here, it is an upthrust, right? It's in UT, hidden upthrust, hidden UT. But where is buying? I want to ask a question. Okay, this is a major sign of weakness, but how about the major sign of weakness? Do we have major sign of weakness?
No.
No. Try to look the trading range and try to direct it. Okay. Okay. You observe this move here. You observe this move here, this entire move, which is coming to this trading range. This entire move, right? Did you see here a high volume here? Can you see a high volume picks up here?
Yeah.
Right. And what happens to the bullish volume? You see the bullish volume declining, right? And bearish volume increasing. And if we draw the line here, can we say this is actually a falling through ice of this one,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And if you want to draw shortening of the thrust here, a very small shortening of the thrust here, this is what? If we draw a very small channel here, this one was actually, you can see the volume. See the volume, and volume will tell you everything. And this is falling through ice. First falling through ice, this whole move is falling through ice, right? So this one is what? A minor, we have a minor overbought plus minor buying climax, right? So this one act as a major sign of weakness, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can draw a strand channel here, small one, just before it. And here as well, we also have a major sign of weakness because this is FTI. And why this FTI? And we are within the trading range. We have not used, don't forget that we have not reached the downtrend channel. We have not reached the, oversold, right? So we are still in a downtrend. FTI, all right? And FTI, what happens after FTI? After FTI, the price starts ranging. And I told you, whenever there's FTI and the price starts ranging, we call this range as redistribution. Okay. So this one, which is a major sign of weakness, this one, it confirms this one, and it also confirms this one, which are both major sign of weakness. Okay. Are you getting a point? Yeah. So you have to detect these two. So whenever you are within the trading range like this, okay, you have not reached oversold. So you have to find out these kind of condition, like a minor overbought or buying climax and falling through ice, these kind of condition. Okay. Got it? And now we have this one. This is minor sign of weakness. This is major sign of weakness. Major sign of this minor sign of weakness confirms both major sign of weakness, which is falling through ice, and also overbought and like mini overbought and mini buying climax, which is a major sign of strength. So this minor confirms this major. Got it? And now we can go short. Okay. Entry. Okay, this would be our last swing high, which is this one. Okay, we can just place few above, and where would be exit? Exit would be obviously this line. Start below it. Okay. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, good. And now what happens here? The price comes down here. All right. And the price starts. And once the price starts to come here, what do you notice here? Shortening of the thrust. Can you see? Compare this one, compare this one, compare this one. Last swing low. It's a very huge difference. But from this swing low to swing low, very low difference. Shortening of the thrust. Can you see? Right? So not much to do here because we don't know whether it will turn into a redistribution. So we can draw the channel here, a small one. Okay. And but the point is, I did not notice any kind of low, like very high volume here. So there's nothing we can do here. But how about this one, this volume? Sudden spike, right? So what we can do, and this is also making a lower high, right? After this falling through ice, the price did not, okay, we expect the price to come back here, retest, but the price did not do this. The price kept on falling down, and then there is no entry. And here we draw another channel from this point. And one more thing, you can further draw the trend channel from here to here. Second one. Can you draw like this? Okay, let's forget about this one. I draw the channel for you. Now we are still in a major downtrend. We have not reached, but there's a very slight oversold, right? Very slight oversold. But our bearish is what? A bearish is
Bias
what?
is bearish.
Yeah, the bias is bearish, right? The major bias,
Yeah.
right? And even if I draw, and this one here, now this was a test here. The first higher low was here, right? If this is selling climax and oversold the first higher low. Now you see the test here. What happened to the volume? As I told you, that the testing volume should be lower than the selling climax volume. Is it lower or higher?
Higher.
So what does it mean? It means the price will either come and retest this region. The price will fall down and come back. Okay, it will retest this region until we get the, and now what do we see here? The retesting of this region. No supply, right? If you want, you can go a little short here and just a small trade to back to the channel here, right? Although I will not suggest it because the distance is very low, right? So it can turn into a disaster. So I will not, because of risk reward ratio, I will not take this trade. But after this low, where is the first higher low? Here. Here, these two lows are equal, right? Almost equal. So this is a lowest low, and this is the first higher low, right? These two. If we join these two one, and this is the second one here, and if we draw the channel here, okay, what do we notice here? The price came back, a mini oversold, and then a very huge volume. Can you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what? Overbought plus buying climax. And it comes on this reference line and this reference as well, both of them. And a very huge volume. You can take a very good trade here. Okay. Got it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now what happens here? The price came back here. Now the major channel, this is the major channel. The price actually becomes real oversold right over here. Okay. The price, this is a huge volume. The price becomes oversold here. Okay. And the price starts rising, right? But we will not take this trade because this one is still higher one, right? And you see the testing volume here, lower volume, right? The first higher low. This is the first higher low, right? So if we can draw channel like this, first higher low, we can also draw the channel like this. Okay. And what do we notice here? What do we notice here?
Spring.
Effort versus no result and a kind of spring, right? Both characteristics. So we can take a very slight trade of 2R here. Okay. Got it? But now notice one thing. As we break through this here, we are breaking through this, right? Okay, you would say, okay, yeah, this might be an effort versus no result, right? This is not effort versus no result. Yeah, it has a very huge volume, but it is breaking what? JAC, right? Jump across the creek, move. Okay. And this is jump across the creek, a very huge volume here. Now the background is what? Selling or buying?
SOS.
It's a bullish one.
Bullish. MSOW.
Yeah, MSOS. This is MSOS, where we have a volume. You can see huge volume here. Okay, you can see the testing volume, which is lower than this volume. You can see easily lower, right? And we have reached oversold. Huge volume here, testing here, and this testing volume, effort was no result. Okay, and then the price makes higher low, and the price breaks through this on a very huge volume. So JAC and this one is all, both of them are major sign of strength. Okay, I will call you again and I will continue the video. Hold on. Okay, because it's less than 1 minute now.